Welcome to Dicejunkies, and this is a review on Tales from the Yawning Portal. I'm here with
Q.
And I'm Zeno Damus. Hope you enjoy. Alright, so we got this book in and been looking over it. Picked it up from my local comic book shop and hobby shop.
Vans Comics.
Yeah, good place. So, what you looked over it? You recognize some of these older. Now, the Yawning, I guess to run it over, the Yawning Portal is basically 5 adventures that have been redone from classic adventures, spanning back from the 1970s to some from the early 2000s. So
this goes back even to original. I've actually played some of these quests, 3 specifically. The Sunless Citadel was one of the first 3.0 quests to come out. And I'm a big 3.0, as you know. I love 3.0, 3.5. And that was an awesome quest, though no joke. I mean, all these quests are for hardcore players. By the way, I think we got 7, actually. I think it's 7.
Let's see. We have
7.
The Sunless Citadel, the Forge of Fury, the Hidden Shrine of Tamashin, White Plum Mountain, Dead End They,
which is a 5th ed original.
Against the Giants.
One of the oldest quests out there. It technically predates D&D.
And then Tome of Horrors.
Another one of the original ones. These are Gygax. You're going all the way back to Quest and Gygax himself.
Yeah, the Tome of Horrors is from 1978. Against the Giants was in 1981, which is when I was born.
So some of these quests are classics.
Now, just a quick run through on what you need with this book is it's designed to be run with the 5th edition, Player's Handbook, Dungeon Master's Guide, and Monster's Manual. Any of the content from the Swords Coast or any of the other books are not required to be able to run this. There is no additional character classes, backgrounds, or anything like that, so there is no reason for a player to need this book. It is purely something for somebody who wants to run.
This is a DM tool.
Yeah.
You don't want your players ruin it. They'll ruin it for themselves. Players, don't touch it. These are classic quests. You do not want to ruin the story.
Now, if you don't want to run the portals, the campaigns, the adventures in here, they do have good maps. They have some new items, and there are some new creatures that were needed to be able to do these campaigns that can be implemented into other games as well.
The bestiary in the back will be useful until they put out another book, because some of those are classic monsters that us old schoolers remember that didn't come out in the DM's book. And it's good to see them again. You're like, oh, there it is. I remember this.
So anything particular about these adventures? But
remember now, these are some of these games especially are from AD&D and old school, which means, and I hope you'll forgive me for saying this leans toward, to me, pretty tight-knit group of know-their-stuff players. I won't lie. Now, it could be fun also as like the Sunless Citadel was designed for new players, but as you get down this list, especially the Tomb of Horrors, you're going to want to be vetted before you take on, like, Against the Giants and the Tomb of Horrors. Or it's a good way to vet your players, let them run at it 5-6 times until they get good.
But, well, I mean, most of these, I mean, you start off with the first one being for, first-time players early on. Then you have the next one, which is supposed to be for a little bit more experienced players, supposed to go up to about 5th level. Then the next one isn't supposed to start until you're a 5th level character. The next is around 8th. Then you have 11th, and then you just have high level.
Then you had the last couple of those old school D&Ds. We're not playing anymore, kids.
So they do have a gradual step up. So if you wanted to sort of combine them, like they're not necessarily meant to be combined, because these are also, they're spanning over about 30 years of time. But they can be combined and so forth, and the way they sort of
vetted, right? Yeah, man. This is Bruce R. Cordell, Gygax. Let's see, Lawrence Schick. These are guys, some of the best. Yeah. And you, especially if you're an old schooler who wants to get old school feel, they've got some of those quests in here.
And the book being the Tale of the Yawning Portal is because they basically did somewhat tie these together using the Yawning Portal which is a inn in Waterdeep. And so that's sort of like a station where you can get clues and started
They
on
dropped
these
the Green
various-
Dragon in down there if you want.
Yeah,
to
they
use
also
different
dropped the
one.
Green Dragon for some of the other settings, or you can easily just make your own location for the players to be able to gather and know each other and be able to start on these quests. But they did give you a way if you wanted to use theirs.
Now, I haven't read this. I didn't read the whole book because, honestly, unfortunately, these quests are so awesome. I didn't want to spoiler myself.
Mm-hmm.
But even giving it a light read, one of the first things I noticed is I saw some important lines you don't see that are a big deal. And that is, there's a section where they have kobolds. And then below that, they have why the kobolds are here. See,
Yeah.
back in the day, DMs used to think about that. You didn't just find a random creature in a locked room and go, what the hell has this thing been eating? They used to go, there's a reason these creatures are here. This is how they interact with the other creatures. That's a professional DM level stuff.
Well, and I've thought
You have an ecosystem in your dungeon.
Wizard of the Coast and their modules, they've done a good job about that with all of them. Because, I mean, you know, we played the Elemental Evil, and, you know, you had those things that were in there that's just like, oh, why would lizardmen be down here? And then it had a story. If you talked to them, you could find it out.
And you find out they're not getting along with these guys around the corner.
They've been doing really good with that in these books, and this is no exception. It stays long, and I think as these books continue, I continually see better and better writing.
But, you know, we ought to warn them about this. I'm sorry, I know.
What's that?
Bring a rogue or somebody with the skills. This is old school D&D.
Well, yeah. Well,
This is old school. This is locked doors and traps, man. Locked doors and traps are prevalent.
They even hint in the description to have a diverse group. You know,
By diverse group,
you want
they
that
mean
4 to 5 man party where you have the fighter, the cleric, the rogue, the wizard. Yeah.
Especially the cleric and the rogue. But the way I'm seeing it, if you ain't got a rogue, there
Yeah.
ain't enough clerics in the world that are going to get you through this dungeon.
Yeah. Maps are good in the book. It's got some good artwork in the book.
Their artist has been killing it, man.
They have.
I mean, all the artwork I've seen has been amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And the maps are detailed. They even have a section trying to tell DMs how to keep up with it. Some of these dungeons so big, they even said, look, you might have a hard time keeping up with what you reveal.
Well, they also make sure to put the grid on all the maps, so you know you have that good grid reference and so forth. I mean, I've been pretty happy with the books, and
Dan's, man.
yeah. No, I mean these are some good adventures. They really are. I mean, some of them. I think I've played a couple of these. It's been such a long time, but I've heard the names of all these, and I know people who have played all these. I mean, they're very popular.
The Tomb of Horrors lives up to its name.
Oh God, yeah.
That used to be the one where it's like, you came back? How many of your party... The question is never, how did you enjoy the Tomb of Horrors? It's how many of your party members got out of the Tomb of Horrors? And usually the answer is none. Oh, some classic items come back in too. It's got magic items in here that weren't reprinted before that are back, like I'm spoiler, Hellhound Cloak, the Lodestone, and the famous Spear of Backbiting. Who doesn't remember that spear? Oh, that was so fun. What I used to love about it is that I know people who still didn't give a crap. Like, they just wanted the bonus. They'd run around and be like, every now and then I stab myself in the ass.
Yeah. But yeah, you have 2 pages of some magical items, which is nice. And you have about another 18.
Oh, Stone of Luck's back, too.
Yeah, you
Wow.
have about another 18 pages with some monsters, some creatures that were needed for this. Which, like you said, they are definitely some very iconic creatures that I was disappointed not to see some of these in the Monsters Manual, so I'm glad to see them here. And I'm hoping to see in the Monsters Manual, too, where they pull in some of these so you don't necessarily have to have every campaign book to get all the creatures. I'm
sure they'll companion it, man. I expect as much.
But yeah, so overall, I think it's a really good book. I like the design, I like the art, I like the content.
I know you gotta love it, Zeno, because you've never been a big module guy.
Well, no.
So having these independent quests, I imagine, for DMs who like to do their own campaigns, this is what you want.
Yeah, it's really good.
Everything else is its own campaign that you're gonna have to modify. You get the Abyss book, you're gonna be like, I can play with it, but they've got a well-written story. You almost don't want to F the story
up. You have that
up.
big intertwining, plot that you'd have to try to pull out of it.
Swap. These are drop-in quests that range from first level what was it? 1, 3, 5, 8, 9, 11, 11 up, and oh my God, Tomb of Horrors.
Yeah.
You know, it's its own level, man.
Yeah.
You don't remember? I've been there multiple times. But this book's awesome. I like Classic Quest.
Yeah.
I want to see more of this.
Like I said, Yawning Portal, definitely suggested for a DM, GM.
7 quests for your money. That's
yeah.
a good.
As a
Right.
player, you don't need it. Don't. You'll ruin it.
You can
for
buy it for your
yourself.
DM as a gift.
Yeah, there you
He'll
go.
still
Buy it
kill
for your
you,
DM.
but he might let you at least get to Tomb of Horrors.
And support your local comic or hobby shop.
If you want them to keep bringing in books, you need to do this. Much love to Vans Comics. You know, go by your local places. I know it's fun to order online, but if you want to see it in your shops, you got to go by there and support them.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please be sure to subscribe, like, comment if there's anything you want to say about the book or something you want to hear us review in the future. You know, let us know. And like I said, thanks for watching. Tell your friends.